The Jeff Meacham Network's multiverse of media. For over 15 years, the recognized symbol of excellence and the standard bearer in coverage of sports and entertainment.
This broadcast is being streamed across multiple channels and platforms. The views and opinions expressed by the host do not necessarily reflect those of the aforementioned outlets. Only by super chatting will viewer comments and questions be given diverted attention and immediate priority. Failure to super chat will result in your post being displayed on screen, but not necessarily verbally addressed. Further complaints, derogatory posts, and any disruptive content will result in being called out as a whiny shit, and if necessary, being timed out or banned. This goes for everyone.
You ever wanted to come into a sports bar where the barkeeps know their game? Well, the Jeff Meacham Network Multiverse of Media has got a production just for you. Sit down and relax as the Stat Boy and his partner break down the statistics in all things sports. Whether it's football, basketball, motorsports, baseball, hockey, soccer, professional wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, and much, much more. All are welcome. Your barkeeps here keep you up to date and in the know of everything going on in sports, while also having a pleasant conversation about it all. Your host and owner of the bar, Stat Boy Mike. His partner in crime, Dory Lube. And a host of other guests coming in. The food's hot, the seats are warm, the drinks are ice cold, and the sports talk is plentiful. Casa D-18 Studios presents Stat Boy Sports Bar. Take a bar stool and enjoy the show.
How do you like me now that I'm on my way? Hello, my internet fans. Welcome to another episode of Stat Boy Sports Bar. Dory Lou is just getting off of work. She will not be with us this week. So we've got the rest of the stat crew, as in the fantasy god, DJ Mud King, and producer Jeff down in the control room. We start our show off with a bit of sad news as country superstar and potential legend Toby Keith has passed away today at the good old age of only 62 years old of stomach cancer. Of course, 20 number one hits with, of course, How Do You Like Me Now, Who's Your Daddy, Beer for My Horses, Drinks After Work, Hope on the Rocks, Bullets in the Gun, Big Dog Daddy, Unleashed, Blue Moon, American Ride, Peso in My Pocket in 2021.
Should have been a cowboy, by God.
Exactly. That don't make me a bad guy. How many Toby Keith references can we get in the first 5 minutes of this beautiful remembrance? Of course, he did have stints in wrestling. Of course, getting involved in the what match was that? Jeff, help me out here.
The premiere episode of TNA in the Gauntlet for the Gold after having shenanigans to Jeff Jarrett during his concert, man.
Indeed. And then, of course, he popped up with the Bella twins.
Well, he was the guest host of Raw that night in 2010. I just happened to find it was a really cool shot of him with the bells on the ramp. Okay, I'll throw my buddies in there. Why the hell not?
And, of course, his well-known feud with the Dixie Chicks back in all those years ago.
They are the Chicks. They're the Chicks.
Well, no, I don't care if they're the Chicks now. They're always going to be the Dixie Chicks. You know, but I did not like waking up this news. You know, living in Tennessee, we take our country music very seriously, and when we lose one of our own, we tip our hats and say a prayer and say, "God bless you, Toby Keith. You will be missed greatly."
And as far as the references, the anthem of my life and my father's, I ain't as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
There you go.
That's it, brother. And that is the truth, folks.
I'll drink to that.
Fuck yeah, right.
All right. As stated in the beginning of the show, and as always on the Jeff Meacham Multiverse of Media, if you want to dictate this conversation, I cannot stress this enough. I stress it every week. Super chat, please, super chat. It is not that we are ignoring you. That is not the case. But if you want my attention, if you want me to absolutely stop what I am talking about and acknowledge you, a couple bucks won't hurt. It's not that serious. All right.
And we are dead ass serious about that whiny shit part. Please bitch about it. Go ahead, please. Because I'm on screen today, so I give no fuck.
And don't be surprised if I do my voice as a watch along for that little. If I record my sayings, I say it every week. All right, let's get into the news so we can get to the main event. We start with PGA Golf and a very interesting situation out of Pebble Beach, California. The winner, of course, was Wyndham Clark. But the big story is, as it is always in Southern California, when precipitation falls from the ground, it's an event. The rain got so bad that the Pebble Beach people and PGA decided that we had to just end the tournament after 54 holes of play. The fourth round could not be played because the golf course was just way too wet and way too puddly. So they declared that Wyndham Clark is the winner after 54 rounds. I believe this is I believe this has happened before, but not too long ago. So, taken from PGAtour.com, Wyndham Clark earned his winning moment at Pebble Beach, his self-described favorite place in the world. It required one less round than expected, but semantics will fade with time as Clark earned his third career PGA Tour title at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am and etched his name into the history books in the process. Last year's U.S. Open champion is now also a champion at arguably the game's grandest venue. Clark's win came on the strength of a course record third round 60 at Pebble Beach Golf Links that gave him a one-stroke lead into the final round at 17 under 199, which eventually meant victory as the final round was canceled Sunday evening after heavy storms rocked the Monterey Peninsula through the day. They did initially want to push back the tournament one day, and they did try. Under PGA rules, they do have to make an attempt to try to complete the course or complete the tournament and the course to get the course ready. It just didn't happen. So he said, guess what? All points and all monies will be given out as a three-round tournament, and it's mostly for the safety of the players.
Yes, and Pebble Beach learned what they've known in the Valley for years. It's never good when you have to end prematurely because of a wet hole. Anyway, move right along.
I'm a big hockey guy, but I can never take this event seriously because the first thing that always comes to mind with this event is Happy Gilmore. So, like, it's the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, and the only thing I can think about is Mike Tyson not Mike Tyson. Oh, my God. I'm terrible today. Bob Barker beating up Adam Sandler.
That's right.
Like, I can't believe I said.
Have you been drinking already in the sports bar?
I plead the fifth.
No. You had a fifth. Anyway.
As far as the points and the standings in the FedEx Cup, the graphics are under new construction because I started a plan. I wanted to work on them yesterday. It took up all of my day, so I really didn't have time to put them all together. But Matthew Pavon of France is the new number one player in the top 10. He has overpassed Chris Kirk, who held the number one spot for the past 4 tournaments. This is tournament number 5 in the tour. Wyndham Clark, the winner, is now in third place at 761 points. Bjorn Hun An is in fourth. The number one player, Scotty Scheffler, is in the top 5 at 536 points. Ludwig Aberg is 6th at 508. Grayson Murray at 7th. JT Poston is 8th. Sahith Tagala at 9th. And Jason Day at 10th. Eventually, and what we're doing, you have to be in the top 70 to be in the final 3 events later this year. So I kind of want to get that moving in there, not just do a top 10. I want to make it a little bit bigger. So we'll see where that all goes from there. The women are on a small little vacation. They are getting ready to play in Thailand on February 25th. So there is no women's golf in the LPGA to report on this week. So moving on to this. The Open Sud de France in Montpellier took place this weekend. And we have a winner in the name of Alexander Bublik, who won 5-7, 6-2, and 6-3. He actually dropped the first set to his opponent, Borna Korchik of Alexander Bublik is Kazakhstani. 2-hour, 18-minute victory to become the first player in history to win an ATP Tour event after having lost the first set in each match of the tournament. So every time he played, the first set went to his opponent no matter what. But then he had to come back in every set after that just to win the darn thing. Talk about coming back from rallies and all that. My goodness. And this is his second championship in Montpellier, and this is his 4th ATP title. Again, the rankings are also under construction there. And also the Davis Cup took place too. That I have to look into as well. The ladies took the courts in, let me bring up my stats there. The ladies played in Linz, Australia. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's where they played. Did they play there? Where is that?
That's what you sent me. I don't know.
I know. I screwed up on that one. Austria, not Australia. That's my own mistake on that one.
No, that's not the same.
They're almost the same. But the Linz Open is in Linz, Austria, and Jelena Ostapenko won that matchup. And in Thailand, Diana Schneider won the Thailand Open. And let me bring up that one. This one off of WTA.com. Number 1 seeded Jelena Ostapenko became the first player to win 2 WA Tour single titles this year, storming past number 2 seeded Katarina Alexandrova in straight sets on Sunday to capture the Upper Austria Lady Linz Championship. In a clash between 2 runners-up, she only needed 70 minutes to win in straight sets. With Diana Schneider, this is her first title. She's only 19 years old. She is the second teenager to win a WTA title this season, joining our favorite number 3, Coco Gauff, who started her season with a successful title defense in Auckland. She's a standout at North Carolina State, and she will surge into the top 100. Again, the rankings are under new construction with that.
Okay. Mikey, do me a favor and stretch a little bit during NASCAR because I have to go outside and grab stuff from my mom's in the rain. It's going to be fun, so have fun.
Okay, no problem. Stretching through NASCAR. That's a good idea. So NASCAR is now back on tap here in the sports bar. Just recently, this last weekend, was the exhibition race, the Clash at the Coliseum, which almost sounds like a pay-per-view. The winner, of course, was good old Denny Hamlin, taken from NASCAR.com. The final restart was the difference. A day earlier than planned, the result of a devastating weather forecast, which we've just talked about, Hamlin got the jump he needed on an overtime restart and won Saturday night's 3rd edition of the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. Smoking his tires in every corner after grabbing the lead on a restart on lap 141 of a scheduled 150, Hamlin was a few yards away from the finish line when his Joe Gibbs racing teammate Ty Gibbs spun off the bumper off Kyle Larson's Chevrolet to bring out the 7th caution and force a 2-lap shootout. On the final restart, Hamlin stayed clear of Kyle Busch, who was the runner-up, and crossed the stripe with a .610 second advantage, earning his 4th victory in the season open exhibition race, most among active drivers, with the first 3 coming at Daytona International Speedway. Given the prediction of heavy rain and possible flooding from Sunday through Tuesday, NASCAR made the unprecedented and provident call to move the start of the race from 8 p.m. Sunday to 8 p.m. Saturday. The decision allowed NASCAR Cup Series competitors to complete the event without extreme disruption to the schedule. And of course, this is an exhibition race, but let's face it, there's always going to be some kind of controversy or some kind of disagreement in the pits after the race. So, unbelievable at that. Unbelievable. It's an exhibition race, and yet they're just they're letting it get to them. Of course, here is the 2024 schedule. It all starts with the Daytona 500. Then we go on to the Ambetter Health 400, the Pennzoil 400, the Shriners Children's 500, and then they come back to good old Tennessee for the Food City 500 in Bristol, which hopefully we'll get to go to this season. Then there's the Echo Park Automotive Grand Prix, the Toyota Owners 400, the Cookout 400, the Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400. The list goes on and on. And if you remember how it works, if you win a stage, you get 10 points. The top 10 from 1 to 10 get points 10 down to 1. Depending on how many stages, that's how many points you get. The person who comes across who gets the checkered flag, earns 40 points for a race. Yes, Zach?
Who are you excited to see the most? To break out in their potential this season.
Well, I'm not keeping up on the rookies this year, but we are Team RCR, so we're going to stay close with our Austin Dillon, and I might give Kyle Busch a little bit more niceties, but my go-to guy is number 9, Chase Elliott. He's my go-to guy.
Yeah, sorry, I'm listening. Honestly, I've been so out of touch with watching it, unfortunately, because so many of the guys I got into it, watching for are retired or have left or gone back to Indy or whatever the case may be. So it's very hard for me to keep up. I still like my mom's guy, Truex. Love him. But I like Chase Elliott. It's just hard because there's so many more, at least it seems to me. And again, I could be, being that whiny shit I talked about. It just seems like there's much more, crybabies and whiners and, dirty drivers than there ever used to be. It's kind of sucky.
Yeah, it was Logano and Gibbs who had the unpleasantries after the clash, so we got that out of the way.
That's a freaking exhibition race. Like, get the hell over yourself, you two idiots.
Exactly. Absolutely. That
Jack
is
awesome.
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
And let's see who the gangsters, the betting odds people say is going to win Daytona next week.
I'm guessing
Daytona next week. That's right.
I'm guessing Logano's trying to channel his inner, WWE career for after he leaves NASCAR, since he does have that relationship with them.
It's such a bummer because Joey used to be a really sweet kid, and now he's just a moody prick, and it's sad.
I'm bringing up DraftKings here, which
the
is
worst. The worst slide for me was Denny Hamlin. I love me some Denny Hamlin, but man, he has just become intolerable the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 seasons. It's just hard to have to listen to him bitch. Like, just go out there and freaking win. Shut up. It's like Roman Reigns. I hate to make the comparison because it's not a real sport. Well, Roman Reigns never defends. Okay, somebody beat him. Somebody win. Somebody get out there and show you can be the guy. The same guys have been on the top of NASCAR for years, and the other guys bitch about it. It's like, well, then drive better, do better things.
Right now, odds-on favorite according to the DraftKings Sportsbook, Denny Hamlin is the 10-1 favorite to win the Daytona 500, followed by Ryan Blaney, then Kyle Busch at 12-1, tied with Keselowski. Larson is 14-1 with Joey Logano and Chris Boucher and Chase Elliott. William Byron 16-1, Bubba Wallace 18-1, Truex 22-1, and the long shot all the way at the bottom, BJ McLeod.
Oh, jeez.
No love for Ross Chastain?
He's in there somewhere, sure.
Ross Chastain 25-1.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, Keselowski's up there, Keselowski, Logano. Just these guys it's the same guys every year. It's like, well, I don't like them myself, but I see the flip side. It's like, all right, if you don't like them, get your car gear and beat them.
Yeah, let's see you drive better.
Yeah. Oh, I don't drive, period, let alone 200 miles an hour. But you don't want me driving 200 miles an hour. That's a scary thought.
So again, remember how it works. Cross the finish line first, win points. That you want to be the top 16 when we get to the playoffs. And we race 3 races, go to 8, 3 more, go to 4. When we reach the final 4, the big race in Phoenix, whoever is the leader of those 4, you don't have to necessarily win to become the champion. You just got to finish better than the last 4.
Who's the leader of the drivers at the end of the year? He will be the NASCAR Series Sprint Cup champion. Or it's not sprint because they don't do it anymore, but whatever.
There you go, indeed.
Hey.
And of course, as always,
now.
We'll keep you up to date with all the stats and all the points leaders, not just in the Cup Series, but with Xfinity and the Truck Series as well. Everything.
Who is the Cup Series title sponsor this year? Do they have one?
Not that I know of. I haven't looked that up yet.
Okay. I was just curious. I was just genuine curiosity.
Well, NASCAR's all about sponsors anyway, because you got the Cheerios car, you got the Nestle car, you got.
That was one of my favorite Rob Williams bits. They should have politicians dress up like NASCAR drivers. Everybody that they're getting money funded from, they should have to wear jackets, just so we know what's up.
Right.
freaking at the victory party in November. I'd like to thank the NRA team for their contributions today. Yeah, just
Click, click, boom.
right. Yeah. Ha! That's a song. That was the WWE pay-per-view theme one year.
Yes, it was indeed.
No Mercy 01, baby.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's scary. Okay.
Indeed, it was.
There we are.
All right.
Gotta move the ticket.
Basketball in week for the next week. The top three spots have not changed. UConn, Purdue, and North Carolina all staying put. Kansas moving up 4 spots. Houston dropping 1. Our Tennessee Vols are in the top 10 at 6th. Marquette moves up 2 spots. Arizona moves up 3. Duke drops down 2. Illinois moves up 4. Wisconsin drops 5. Auburn up 4. Baylor up 5. Iowa State drops 2. And South Carolina, they are brand new. They are debuting at number 15. They must have been doing something right to just vault over the bottom half of the top 25. The Crimson Tide are out of the bottom of the barrel and have moved up to number 16, 8 big spots, as Kentucky almost gets the roller coaster drop at 7, and they are at 17. Dayton moves up 3. Creighton drops 6. Florida Atlantic stays put. BYU goes up a spot. Utah State drops 5. Texas Tech hits the roller coaster at a drop of 8. San Diego State is new, and New Mexico drops 6. For the ladies, South Carolina again for another week at the top of the list. Iowa moves up 1. North Carolina State moves up 2. Colorado moves up 2. The Ohio State is in the top 5 as they move up 3. Stanford drops 2. The Longhorns move up 5. Kansas State drops 6. And here's a shocker. UCLA and USC right next to each other. UCLA did drop 2. USC did go up 5. UCLA basketball, much more fun than USC football. UConn stays put at 11. Notre Dame goes up 2 spots. LSU drops 4. Indiana drops 4 as well. Louisville only drops 1. Virginia Tech goes up 1. Oregon State goes up 1. Baylor almost with a roller coaster drop, dropping 5. Gonzaga and Utah stay put. Creighton moves up 1. West Virginia moves up 1. Syracuse drops 2. The Sooners are new to the top 25, and Princeton stays put. Go ahead, Zach. Turn on your microphone, Zach.
Sorry.
Thank you, Zach.
Oops.
Go ahead.
That was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Credit where credit is due right now. Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this girl is insane. The way she is playing right now is probably the best basketball in basketball, counting women, men, everyone. Caitlin Clark is a special player, and Iowa is going to be dangerous going into the tournament because this girl is just hitting on all cylinders, and it's special to watch. When you're the top story, one of the top stories ESPN wants to talk about, you know you're doing something right. So cheers to Caitlin Clark.
There you go. March Madness, we're getting pretty close. We should be getting towards the mini tournaments in a couple weeks, if not, and then I think it's mid-March. To which we will do a bracketology 101, and won't that be fun?
Oh yes,
unbelievable! Bracketology
no
101. Indeed. All righty, let's take a look at the pros as we're moving right along with the time and all that. 8 straight weeks, the Boston Celtics are the number 1 team at 38-12. We have a new number 2 team with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They move up 3 spots. They are tied with the Minnesota Timberwolves at 35-15. It comes down to points. Oklahoma at 120.8, Minnesota at 112. The defending champion Denver Nuggets still in column 1 at 35-16. They only dropped a spot. They're fine. The Clippers move up 1, and my Bucks dropped 3, 33-17, 3 spots down. Cavaliers are at the top of column 2 at 32-16. Knicks are 32-18. They dropped a spot. 76ers are at 30-19. Sacramento Kings stay put at 29-20. Phoenix Suns at 29-21, tied with the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans in column 2. It's almost the highest they've been. They're creeping on up. In the middle column, the Indiana Pacers lead at 28-23. Dropping 2 spots. Mavericks tied with the Magic at 27-23. Lakers just above 500 at 27-25. And the Heat round out the 500 club, 26-24, as the Jazz are the first team to fall below 500. Columns 4 and 5 have stayed put the entire time. Not one team moved. They all stayed put. They're in the exact same position as they were last week. Of course, the story in Detroit, 13 weeks at the bottom of the barrel, 3 games behind Washington. All they got to do is win 3 games. And I do not want them to be at the bottom of the barrel for the entire season. That is a possibility. Now that the Lions and football season is over, you would think that the Pistons fans would rally their team. Instead, they're probably now rooting for the Red Wings to go to the Stanley Cup playoffs again. But we'll get to hockey in just a bit. Go ahead.
I was going to say the Pistons sacrifice meant nothing. Nothing.
Oh, man. That's ridiculous. So, Mike.
Sir.
What do you think about in the last 2 weeks? The last 2 weeks of basketball, 7 players, counted, 7 players have scored over 60 points in a game.
It is an impressive stat to make, but also it has a curse. At what point are you showing off? Okay? On average, on a good day, a player scores 35 points. When they can double that and get into the 60, 65, 70, you're taking on the whole team by yourself. You're trying to be Superman here. Okay? If they've done it more than once in a week, okay, now they're just showing off.
But it was okay when Kobe did it, right, LA? It was okay when Michael Jordan did it, right, Chicago? It was okay when Wilt did it, right, LA?
He's just saying.
It was okay when Kareem did it consistently for a decade or more, but okay. Yeah. It's not okay now, right?
Well, the respect factor has maybe even gone down a little bit.
There you go. Okay. So now we're peeling that onion. I like that. Yeah. The difference is back then, because there wasn't retroactive condemning like there is now about people's past, although Wilt's notorious ladies' man status was well known and often praised, if you will. But basketball players are more frowned upon than they were in the era of Jordan and the Bulls and early Kobe and the Lakers and Showtime and all the hell. It was a world rocking scandal when Magic contracted HIV, in an extramarital affair because he's Magic Johnson. Oh my God. Now it's like, it feels like the NBA is trying to keep up with Nick Cannon's productivity, and they're all looked down upon as a result. So I get what you're saying. But if these guys are talented enough to, throw up 60, 70 points a game, fucking let them do it. The point is the W. The point is earning that money you're getting paid, ridiculous amounts of.
Yeah, indeed.
70 points, it's like, yeah, you're in your money, you're throwing that kind of ball. I'm just throwing it out there.
I would like to see a video game produced where you have legal and licensed NBA players playing a game, but for every basket you score, you get money, and that's your score. And whoever shoots and makes the most money wins.
Wasn't NBA shootout like that, or am I just thinking of a totally different format? That's how it should have been, then. Damn it.
Hey, in the video game world, you can create anything. It's like
fair.
Yeah. Like you said, they're making an insane amount of money anyway. Why not give them a small bonus? Oh, for every free throw you get $100. For every regular shot, $500. If you dunk it, I'll give you $1,000. You make a 3-pointer, I'll give you $2,500. Hey, why not? Earn your contract.
There you go. There you go.
Indeed.
That could cover anything. It could cover them already having the outside the bedroom shenanigans, or it could, make sure they're more likely to stay straight that way. They don't have to put all that money.
Indeed.
Right, because right now we're on a collision course for Boston to win another championship. So
the way they're playing right now, I will agree to that. Yes.
If you live in Los Angeles in the summer when the NBA is over, hide if Boston wins. Jeez.
My main team, yes, I'm from New Orleans. Of course, I got a root for the Pelicans, but my main team is in LA.
Well, there you go.
Same here. I live in Tennessee. We have the Memphis Grizzlies. They're not doing so good. My home is Los Angeles. I grew up a Laker. I ran off on the Lakers. I'm following the Bucks now because of Giannis. Do I want to see the Bucks win another title? Absolutely. Do I go with the stats? Do I go with my heart? Do I go with my home? How about whoever wins, and I just say I like it and go with that one?
Well, Memphis needs to control its gun problem, but that's...
Oh, you just took a shot at them, didn't you?
Well, I took a shot at Ja.
Yeah. He's paid his crime. Yeah, he's paid his crime. Jeff, I think we need a break before we go into hockey, don't you?
I think you're right. I think we do. And it just so happens that we've got that beautiful trailer for the Gary Hebert documentary going into hockey. So
let's do it.
Gary Hebert, the man, the myth, the legend. I was amazed, and I was looking to become a better skater myself, and I wanted to be like Gary.
When you look at a guy like this, he's one of the most talented people in his profession. He's been given gifts by God.
It can get frustrating at times when you're trying things that, that maybe don't come as quickly to you as other things. And, you never really felt that sense of frustration with Gary. It was always about improvement and positive reinforcement.
Was it really the end? Was that head injury really the end? God has called Gary to continue to be a blessing to others and to be a passionate example.
My name is Gary Hebert, and this is the World Academy of Hockey, otherwise known as the Inside Edge.
I would recommend anybody that have a chance to come to his hockey school. I think it'd be well worth it. It'd be rewarding to all the kids and anyone he coaches, from whether it's an adult, a professional player, to a little kid like a Mike or a Squirt.
Gary, from day one, has been instrumental to my hockey career. I started out as a potential Division III player, and Gary brought me single-handedly through high school and into a top Division I prospect. I owe it all to Gary, the biggest legend on and off ice there's ever been.
Listen, watch, learn, be confident, and have faith. Those are the answers I was brought to. Yet, I only now am really learning how truly important those 5 things are.
Through preparation, through appropriate thoughtfulness and thinking, we can learn to untie the typical knots between our ears that drive us into underachievement and underperformance. And lo and behold, we can learn, I think, to fulfill our God-given potential.
Gary has the innate ability to make people not only better players, but better people. The life lessons they learn from Gary are incredible.
I can always remember leaving that rink knowing as a player I got better, or I had something to improve on to get better. And I think that's what you excelled on as a coach, is giving us the knowledge to know what we needed to do to get better.
There's coaches who know the game, but can you communicate and create passion in your kids and in your players? And Gary's able to do that.
Gary's got great knowledge and the great hands, but more importantly, his ability to connect with people and care for them. His communication skills, to me, really stand out and separate him, and that's why he's one of the best, in the world.
Gary's a legend. He's a special, special man.
Indeed, he is, and we're getting. I do hope we're getting closer and closer to actually sitting down and watching this full documentary. The trailer gets better every time you see it.
Oh yeah, I said it when I first kind of saw it, didn't really focus in because I was too busy, doing the director thing. But man, there are so many people that I watched play in the professional leagues of hockey, and I just go, damn, this guy's influence was very far-reaching. It's crazy how small the world is when you think about how long we've had James on board with the team here. It's like, man, this guy's uncle's just been part of so many careers in hockey. And you talk about the world being small. Wait till we get to the chills I have for you guys at the end, because it is a small world after all, but I sure as hell still wouldn't paint it.
Indeed. All right, let's talk about hockey. Do we want to do the ladies first, or do we want to talk about the coaching news?
We are going to do ladies first. We'll do the coaching news after the power rankings.
All right, ladies first. The PWHL is still going on, and this week, we have a new number one team. Minnesota has been the number one team since the start of the league, but now Montreal has taken over with 3 wins, 3 overtime wins, 1 overtime loss, 1 shootout loss, and 1 regular loss for 17 points. They are now the league leaders. Minnesota is in second place with 3 wins, 2 wins in overtime, 2 overtime losses, and 2 regular losses at 15 points. Toronto, Boston, and New York are all tied with 11. Toronto gets the higher spot because they have more regular wins in regulation, so they have 3 wins. Boston is at 2 wins and 2 overtime wins. They have an overtime loss and 2 regular losses. New York has 4 losses, so between Boston and New York, Boston is the higher ranked team, and Ottawa is at the bottom with 10 points. As far as the men go with the power rankings, not much of a change happened this week because of it being All-Star break. So a good majority of the teams have all stayed put, except for the Rangers, who moved up 2 spots. The Jets dropped a spot, and the Golden Knights round out column 1. They're at the bottom. Column 2, the Red Wings and the Maple Leafs switched spots. The Kings went from column 3 to column 2. The Blues dropped a spot. The Predators are now at column 3. The Islanders, with their win last night, moved them into a tie with the Predators. Seattle ended up dropping 1 spot. Then everybody from Pittsburgh all the way down to Anaheim stayed put. The Sharks are out of the bottom of the barrel again for the second time this season, putting Chicago at the bottom of the barrel. Now that it's after All-Star break, now we can start worrying and trying to focus as to who's going to make it to the playoffs. And of course, in baseball, they have the magic number. In hockey, it's the same way. So if you take the 8 teams from each conference, currently, as I look back here towards the stat board 9,000, I do admit that it is a little bit on the far away side, so you can't really fully see everything. But the top 8 teams in the East right now are Boston, Florida, New York Rangers, Carolina, Tampa Bay, Toronto, Detroit, and Philadelphia. There is a giant red line separating teams 8 and 9. You have to be above that red line to be in the playoffs. For the West, it's Vancouver, Colorado, Dallas, Winnipeg, Vegas, Edmonton, Los Angeles, and St. Louis. The teams below the red line, they are all in danger of being eliminated. So right now, Philadelphia at 56 points and St. Louis at 54 points, they have all the power to eliminate all the teams below that red line. The 2 teams at the bottom of each conference right now are Columbus and Chicago. Columbus has 42 points. Chicago has 30. Philadelphia has 56. St. Louis has 54. So right now, every time that Philadelphia wins or Columbus loses, it's 1 step closer to eliminating the bottom team. Columbus can only score 106 points if they win every game possible. Philadelphia currently has 56 points. 50 points would be needed or 51 points would be needed for Philadelphia to knock out Columbus. In games, 25.5. Well, you can't have half a game, so you round it up to 26. So with the combination of 26 wins or 26 losses by Columbus, they're out. If Philadelphia wins 26, Columbus loses 26, it causes an elimination. Same thing with Chicago. They only have 30 points. The best they can do is 94. St. Louis has 54. 40 points, 20 games. If St. Louis can win 20 games or Chicago loses 20 games, one of those first two teams will be hit with the spray can of doom with little Bart.
But Mikey, I don't understand why Jonathan Quick didn't want to go to Columbus. Anyway, Jesus Christ. Before we get to what I'm going to talk about with hockey, Zach mentioned in the private chat he has some happy hockey news.
What's some happy hockey news, Zach?
So today in Chicago, our beloved rookie, Mr. Connor Bedard, briefly returned back to practice today.
Redshirted?
Pretty much.
Cool.
Well,
cool. Hey, have to so far.
When you fracture your jaw, I mean, you gotta take it one step at a time. He's not if he's one skate at a time, you know.
Better him fracture his jaw and come back to work than have to fracture Corey Perry's jaw if his allegations were true. It's throwing that out there, so that balances out. Just saying. All right, here we go with this shit. Now,
all right, we do have some hockey news out of Los Angeles. Earlier this week, the Kings relieved head coach Todd McKellen of his duties and named Jim Hiller interim head coach for the remainder of the season. In a statement, which is being presented here, the Kings thank Todd for his hard work and dedication to the organization. He has done a tremendous job in moving us forward and making a positive impact on the group and in our community. It was not an easy decision, but we felt the change was necessary at this time. Jim is a well-respected member of our staff who is familiar with our players. We are confident in his ability to lead our team effectively during this pivotal time. Signed by Rob Blake, manager, VP, and general manager of the team. As you can see, his stats, he had a coaching record of 164 wins and 130 losses with 44 overtime wins from 2019 to 2024. In 2019, the Kings only got to 7th place in the Pacific Division. In 2020, they were 6th in the Western Conference. In 2021 and 2022, they did make it to the playoffs, but in both rounds, they lost to the Oilers. And currently, as of the time when the statement was released, they were 23, 15, and 10. They currently do hold the 7th playoff spot. They are 4th in the Pacific Division. When I first got this news, my first initial thought was the Kings are doing okay. They're not doing the level of the Stanley Cup championships that they had, but they're doing okay. There's no need to panic, yet they still want to make the move. Jeff, you're the resident Kings guy, so go ahead. The floor is yours.
So here's I'm gonna stone cold bottom line this.
Go ahead.
The Kings shouldn't have a record they have with the talent we have on this team. I say that because I've been monitoring the talent we have on this team. The Kings have such a solid foundation. The problem is not just the coaching. Rob, I love Rob Blake. I do. My aunt was his family's dog groomer for many years when she still lived out here, and he was during his first and second run as a player with the team. So I don't have a whole lot of ill will toward Blake. I love Blakey. He definitely earned his spot in the rafters as part of this team. Having said that, he's fallen into the same trap that Dave Taylor fell into as GM, and Dean Lombardi did toward the end. Trading away the future for a name. The problem with that in recent weeks has been, I forgot to say his name. I think it's Dubois, and if I'm wrong, forgive me. Has a reputation for whining and not wanting to play at the level he's capable of where he's been, and he's come here and done the same thing. It's problematic for a team like this when everybody's harmonious and synced up, and you combine that with just the Kings' usual shenanigans of playing at the level of their opponents. Let me just throw the rankings back up here so I can illustrate this point, better than I can verbally. So everybody you see below us, St. Louis all the way down to Chicago, when we play those teams, and I am saying we, I know I don't play for the Kings officially, just work with me here. I'm using verbiage of my 40 years. We play like the Ducks and the Sharks when we play these teams, and we suck as a result. We go in and we play, Vancouver or Colorado or the Rangers or the Knights, and we win. And that's great, but you can see where the ratio would present a problem because there's more teams behind us than there are ahead of us. And if we're not beating the teams we should and beating the teams we shouldn't, we're going to end up, 4th place in the division, 7th place in the conference, and we're going to be treading water, kind of like I've been doing in the garage all week. That's just the way it works. And the Kings are too damn talented, too damn deep roster to be pulling this shit. McClellan's firing is a Band-Aid. It's not gonna cauterize the wound. It's not gonna scab it over. I am telling you this right now. You can sit here and if I'm wrong, come preseason, come camp, then I'll own it. Rob Blake is out as GM over this summer. It's going to happen. Like I said, I love Rob. I will forever, be a fan of his. I hope a friend of his still after what I just said. But the problem starts at the top. Shit trickles down. McClellan, I was not a fan of his hiring when they brought him in. If I'm being honest, I'm a loyal Kings guy. He coached the Sharks, coached Edmonton. Didn't like Tom McClellan, but won't look the other way. Gave an opportunity. Again, that record. Where's the thing? 30 something games over 500, and if you count the 44 overtime losses, we're under 500 at the end of the day. That's not going to cut it. When he took over, we were 5 years removed from our last Stanley Cup win. I don't see this team being in the playoffs past first round again, and that's bullshit because it should be. We should be going deep in playoffs. That's just my thoughts on it.
I can agree with it. It's like, I am not a big fan of chopping off the coach's head, getting rid of a coach because a team isn't producing. I get it. I've beat that horse as many times as I can. I understand that it's a business. I understand that it's you do what's best for the team, and if it's new coaching needed, I want to hear the coach say, it's not right, but do what's best for the team, and it still bothers me every time, regardless of who the coach is. Okay, I mean, we've bashed enough with Belichick. If something happened with him, like I said when that news dropped, I'm like, look, if he's going to lose his job, he's going to lose his job. I'll report it, but I'm not going to make fun of it. Others will. And then we cross that bridge when we get there. But hey, the season is now in the second half. Right, you've got the pie. Are you going to just eat it, or are you going to put whipped cream on it and go for the playoffs?
It's one of those. I'm usually not a fan of dismissing a coach or a captain or whatever mid-season. We happened to do very well when we did that in 2011 with Terry's dismissal and Sutter coming in. Today it worked out great, but that's not always going to be the case. I don't think Jim is going to be, like I said, I don't think it's going to be the Cat Rising, the scabbing over. It's just going to be a Band-Aid to get us to April. Maybe early May if we get in the first round. I don't think it's going to go past that. That's just my thing. My bottom line every time I hear Kings news is this: we've been season ticket holders for 40-something years, almost 50 years. Make my dad justify my dad spending that kind of money to go to 41 games a year, and right now they're not doing that, and they haven't been for most of this season. That's the bottom line right there. That's just what it is.
All righty.
All right, I do have the video now, so I will cue it up. So if you want to give a big elaborate intro, by all means.
All right. When we come back from this break, and this is
break. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna do it in a break. This is a new plug. We gave this news a little bit earlier. It's something happening here in Sevier County. And we just got permission to show this. So it's from the Rise Up Con. And Kevin Sorbo is the MC or the host of it. And his company said, I asked them, I said, can I play this ad on my sports blog? And they said, sure, go right ahead. So here's some news as what's happening in Sevier County. And when we come back, the Super Bowl preview. I cannot wait.
Okay. It needed to be more because I wasn't ready. Okay.
Oh, you're still not ready?
Is the break we're doing going to be Mr. Throbo? Are you asking me to plug it? Because I have no other plugs. All we have was Gary's video and the little Friends of the Network thing that I already ran. I wasn't.
Okay, then then we'll just have to wait.
We'll go ahead and do it. That's fine. I got it. I just need to know what the hell I'm doing. That's okay. I think I got it. Maybe. Just hang on. Add to screen. No, don't. Go over here. There we go.
Close enough.
Yes. All right. Let me make sure the tab is on so you can actually hear what Mr. Thurbo has to say. That's always good. Okay, there we go.
And maybe starting from the beginning.
All right. And
hey there, Kevin Sorbo here. Now, I would like to personally invite you to Rise Up Con, presented by Patriot Mobile in beautiful Sevierville, Tennessee. That's just south of Knoxville. It's going to be this May 30th through June 1st. So join me along with many of my friends from some of your favorite faith-based films. For more information about this fun and faith-filled weekend, just visit riseupcon.com. That is riseupcon.com. Bring the family. See you there. God bless.
I cannot wait for that.
I'm going to download that video and make it less choppy in the future. Sorry about that.
That's okay. You got the point across, and we can continue promoting that. And
yes.
Of course, I'm excited there to meet Dean Cain and Sean Patrick Flannery from
Superman. I love it.
Yeah, I didn't know it was.
I know Ripley. I know.
I did not know it was faith-based, so that's an added bonus. I didn't know Dean Cain was faith-based. I did not know that about him. Yes, Zach.
Jeff, before we leave the whole hockey world, I think Spencer Carberry should be a leading candidate to be your next head coach.
Yeah.
He's an offensive mind in Toronto.
Yeah. We've got a good staff in place here in Los Angeles. I don't disagree with who Todd has in place. It's just, again, they're playing with his style. So it'll definitely be a decision because, I mean, the statement even says Jim's going to be the interim until the end of the season. I mean, he's not going to be the guy past this campaign. He's not a head coach, and I like Jim, but he's not a head coach. So we'll definitely be looking at Spencer and a lot of other people. I'm sure we'll definitely be. Listen to me. I'm sure the Kings, whoever is GM and whoever, if it is Blake, then cool. We're having to leave our seats this season because they're carving our section out to extend the patio inside. So if we're going to have to move anyway, I'd rather have my dad be okay with spending money to go see this team. And right now, it's kind of like, okay, there's a game Saturday, but there's not a home game until then. There was a home game tonight, probably wouldn't go with all this weather. And that wasn't even a conversation 10 years ago. Like, nope, we're going to the game, fight through it. Now it's like, I don't want to fuck up my car. Kind of just not worth it today. Sell the tickets for the day. And Mikey knows that was never a conversation when I was living with him and JJ. I was like, nope, you get there. You find a way. So that's the ultimate indicator for me. It's like, okay, let's get these guys back on track.
All right. Do you want to do the other breaking news for that
you
posted?
You know what? Let's go ahead and do the Super Bowl thing really quick, because I kind of plugged this as a Super Bowl preview. We haven't even talked jack shit about the game yet. So at the end of the day, so let's go ahead and talk about the Super Bowl, and we'll do the sports streaming news after the Super Bowl preview.
All right, the Super Bowl is upon us. Super Bowl 58 coming up this Sunday at 6 o'clock, or at 6:30 is kickoff. This graphic here is what you're looking at, is how San Francisco got to the Super Bowl. They won their first 5 games. Unfortunately, they had to beat Dallas in that week. We don't talk about that. They then lost 3 in a row to Cleveland, the Vikings. Dory's happy about that one. And the Browns before going on bye week. Then the last almost second half of the season, they won the next 6, going from Jacksonville all the way down to Arizona, where they clinched their playoff spot and the NFC division title. They lost to the Ravens. They beat the Commanders to get the number 1 seed. And in week 18, they lost to the Rams to finish out their season at 12-5. They defeated the Packers in the divisional playoff 24-21. And unfortunately, they beat the Lions 34-31 to win the NFC championship. The Chiefs, on the other hand, they waited till almost the last game of the season just to get their playoff spot. They lost to the Lions in week 1 because, let's face it, the Lions wanted to show their dominance and show that they were a contender, which they were this year. They then went on a 6-game win streak before losing to the Broncos in week 8. Then they defeated the Dolphins and went into their bye week. They lost to the Eagles in week 11. They beat the Raiders. They then lost to the Packers and the Bills. They beat the Patriots. They lost to the Raiders again. And finally, they defeated the Bengals to get their playoff spot and the AFC West division title before losing to the Chargers, finishing up at 11-6. They had to go on the road to play against, in the wild card, they were the number 3 team. They ended up beating the Dolphins 26-7. They ended up beating the Bills on a frozen day 27-24, and then they knocked off the number 1 seeded AFC. Let's face it, the Ravens should have won that game, but the Chiefs did it better, 17-10, setting up a rematch from 2022, the Chiefs versus the 49ers. Currently, according to FanDuel, it is a 2.5-point spread. San Francisco is the favorite. Betting the money line, if you bet San Francisco, they're at a -130. The Chiefs are at a +110. So basically, for every $100 you bet, you win $10. If you want to take it down any further, for every dollar you bet, you win 10 cents. So there's not that much money to be made on small bets like that. The over-under is 47.5 points. If you bet over or if you bet under, it's a -110, so you're not going to make as much money as you'd like. Other bets that are coming in, and these are all part of the parlays. Christian McCaffrey is a -230 to score a touchdown. Deebo Samuel's a +140. Isaiah Pacheco's a -130. Rashee Rice is a +140. Kelsey is even money. You bet $20 on Kelsey, he scores a touchdown, you win $20. Even money at +100. And Brandon Ayuk is at, so far, the highest at 155. There are tons of other featured bets. There's a bet on FanDuel that says if each team scores a rushing and a passing touchdown, once or more in each half, it's a 150-1, or so you'll make a lot of money on that. There are bets like crazy. Now, my first question I want to ask to both of you and to those in the chat, if you are watching and paying attention: win or lose, can Kansas City call themselves a dynasty?
I don't know. So they won in 2020, and then they won last year
as well.
Well,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
They won last year as well.
I understand that. Okay, so 3 out of the last 4 years. Oh no, it would be.
Yeah. Can you call Kansas City a dynasty, especially if they lose? Are they a dynasty?
Well, if they lose, absolutely not. If they lose, absolutely.
Okay.
I unfortunately think that this season, Kansas City Chiefs campaign is going to be not focused where it needs to be. It's going to be the story of young love and media attention on the wrong things. So, and again, that's not me shitting on it. I love it. It's cute as hell, whatever. But if they win, the media will find a way to make it about Travis and Taylor. If they lose, they weren't good enough to be here. They just got here because the media attention and everywhere. So classifying them by this season is a incomplete case study, I guess, is the best. Like if you're a scientist, too many variables in the petri dish to get a proper read.
Okay. The Japanese government
fuck.
stated, and they actually sent out a press release.
The embassy, the Japanese embassy in this country. Let me be clear on what Monkey's saying. The Japanese embassy here in the United States.
They have declared that if Taylor leaves at a reasonable time after her concert in Japan and flies the 13 hours it takes to get from Japan to Las Vegas, she will make it in plenty of time to enjoy the game.
She'll be here at like 3.
Yeah.
For a 6 p.m. kickoff or whatever the hell it is. Yeah. 3 Eastern.
My question is, why is this news?
Okay. We're trying not to go too far off time. Do you really want to ask that question? Just asking. Seriously. We've been really good the second half of this season, not getting this poor motherfucker up here riled up about the Swift nonsense. You really want to do it the week going into the game, the show before the game. Do you really want to do this, Mike?
No, not really.
Okay.
I see Dory Lou. Lou is coming. Oh, what the? Jesus is gonna win.
That was tremendous. I need to send that clip to Aaron. That was old XMV style, throwing shit at people off camera. That was delightful. I enjoyed the hell out of that. Dory, make sure you stand there next time so you can hit him in the nuts with it so he collapses like Aaron used to. That'd be funnier than hell. Anyway.
Oh man. Yeah.
So
more Viking memorabilia in the house. I love it.
So I think the reason it's news at the end of the day is because they've purposely made it a point to acknowledge the fact that they're going to have multiple feeds. They're going to have the traditional CBS sports feed for us, crazy, diehard football fans, but they're also going to have a Nickelodeon feed for family-friendly programming for Swifties. So that's why it's news, because even the heads of state and their ambassadors are making sure that Taylor Swift can get to Vegas in time to lead her Kansas City Chiefs into battle.
Zach, go ahead.
Okay. I got Jeff just reminded me of a funny situation back in the day that happened on Wrestling Trivia Challenge when Aaron said that Lawrence Taylor played for the Atlanta Braves.
Right. My, yeah. I dude.
The team that Mongo plays for, I don't know. The Atlanta Braves.
Oh, it was one of those. Oh, it hurts. It hurts so bad. It just hurts because I know Aaron doesn't watch sports, and I understand that. But goddamn, even if you didn't watch sports, you knew beyond a shadow of a muckerfucking doubt that Mongo was a Bear. He played in Chicago. You knew that. Show him the ring. Show him the ring. Woo! It's like he was a Bear. He was a Pro Bowler. Love of God. Super Bowl winner. Like, damn. But to be fair, when he joined WCW, he just come off a run with the Packers. So that there could be the case. As a matter of fact, I think when he was at WrestleMania, he was still on the Packers. I could be wrong on that. So I get it. But yeah, that was rough.
That was hilarious.
Final question, and it's the obvious question: who wins?
Oh man,
I'll make my pick. I'm saying I want San Francisco to win. It's not because I don't like the Chiefs. I'm just not happy with all the media attention and all this. They're not focusing on the play.
Okay.
They're focusing on the people, that's taking away from the game so they can have their championship. I'm going with the youngster. I'm going with Brock Purdy on this one. He deserves it. It's his second year as playing, so give that boy a ring. I'm saying, and I'm hoping it's going to be a good game because when we get to the shills, you'll see why. I'm going 49ers by 3.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Fantasy God.
If the Chiefs win, it's because of Travis and Taylor. If the Chiefs lose, it's because of Travis and Taylor.
Right.
No matter which way you look at it, the media is going to go that exact point. Not that Kansas City's a better team, but it's because Taylor led them on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So taking the Kelsey Swift thing out of the equation, which team has made their case for deserving to be with the Lombardi Trophy on Sunday night?
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I only want Kansas City to win so the world doesn't burn. At the end of the day, if I'm being honest, I want to see my 41st birthday. I want to see my kid. I want to see wrestle. I want to see how the hell WrestleMania turns out after all this bullshit this last week. My God, I want to see how it ends.
And you will in 2 days' time.
I don't want the world to burn. By God.
With the San Francisco
Joker,
thing,
some people just want to see the world burn.
I wouldn't talk about Heath, but okay.
So with the San Francisco thing, Mikey, I think, unfortunately, the MVP in regular season always goes to a quarterback, even though this year none of them deserve it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The true MVP of the year is 1,000% CMC.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
2,700 all-purpose yards and 31 touchdowns.
Oh, ridiculous numbers.
Indeed.
That's why I want him to win the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I'm doing it for Paul Heyman, damn it.
Yeah, I'm surprised we still haven't gotten that unless they're not going to show it until Super Bowl Sunday. I mean,
Paul's a little busy trying to make sure he don't lose his meal ticket come Thursday.
Exactly, indeed. So the Super Bowl kickoff is at 6:30 on CBS and also streaming on Paramount and also streaming on Nickelodeon. Yeah. And as I've said before, I am very excited about this. 6 o'clock is when we start our coverage of Super Bowl 58. It's gonna be a blast. I cannot wait for this to happen. This will also give those that want to watch along with us to potentially sync up your TV with my TV, because my TV will be the official feed. That's what I'll be calling the play-by-play on. I'll be giving out, time codes, and if you come into the show late, just pay attention to what I'm saying, and that will help. And if you're ahead, you're ahead. If you're behind, you can catch. If you're ahead, you can pause for a bit until I get caught up, or however you want to work it all. But it'll all work out nicely. We're all off on Super Bowl Sunday. We're all going to be here in the sports bar, watching along, doing play-by-play. I cannot wait. I want to see you all in the chat room and all that, enjoying this, and of course, super chatting. That is the big part. So 6 o'clock will be our pregame with our final thoughts and everything. Don't know how the commercials are going to work, because another concern I had was I don't know if the commercials are going to be played at the same time throughout the whole country. If I'm getting the Bud Light commercial, who's going to stop that from getting the Doritos commercial in another market? And Dory Lou broke this news. This is a bit of a shocker. The top 3 car companies or top 4 car companies are not producing the Super Bowl this year. What's up with that?
Don't invoke the Shane Helms voice. We don't even know hurricane winds with all this rain as it is. No, stat boy, it's a bad stat boy.
Okay, it's a bad stat.
Hey, you don't want my problems.
Yeah, no.
Hurricanes are my department. No.
Hurricanes are not to be trifled with. We had 1 touchdown last year. This state went into a goddamn panic. Like, what we in Florida? What the fuck is this cloud shit? No, stop that shit. No. Oh. No.
Right.
We got fires out here. We got earthquakes. We've got floods, fucking apparently.
One more story to go before we get ready for the Super Bowl. Jeff, take this one away. This one's all you.
This is a big game changer. As the top line says, Fox Corporation, Warner Bros. Discovery, and Disney are set to launch a new streaming joint venture that will make all of their sports programming available under a single broadband roof, a move that will put content from ESPN, TNT, and Fox Sports on the new standalone app, and in the process likely shake up the world of televised sports. They're supposed to launch this new service in the fall. All the various sports outlets throughout those 3 corporations, because, corporations own everything nowadays. That's an ad. Hell with that. Each company would own 1/3 of the new outlet and license their sports content on a non-exclusive basis, which means all this blackout nonsense we get on the regular basis, no more. Love that shit.
Good.
Love to see that. The service would have a new brand and entertainment independent management team. The concept services as traditional media companies are grappling with the migration of sports, the last TV format that generates steady crowds and sustained ratings to streaming venues. Peacock streaming that NFL game was a big needle mover on this. It's going to be structured similar to when Hulu first launched in 2008, when NBC and Fox's predecessor launched them in 2008. Of course, Disney now owns Hulu, pretty much lock, stock, and barrel. Concentration of top sports under one roof will be significant. Between them, ESPN and Warner have most rights to the NHL and the NBA, while Fox, Warner, and ESPN control at present the majority of rights to Major League Baseball. Only NFL would enjoy a large presence with entities that are not part of the joint venture, with Sunday Night Football at NBC Universal, Thursday Night Football on Amazon, and a Sunday afternoon game on CBS. Basically, what all this means is, in theory, we're going to have a easier time with watching our sports here in the United States, which is freaking awesome. With WWE moving their flagship show to Netflix at the beginning of 2025, and all the other goings on in WWE and the wrestling world, the quote unquote real sports are going to have a much different outlook come fall season. So it's going to be a cool world to live in, and I'm here for it. I do know for a fact that a lot of people that I'm close with are not fond of this news because they are traditional, tried and true cable box folks, and they're losing their minds as it is trying to watch their sports now. So we'll see how it goes come August and September.
Indeed, very well. All righty. Yes, we made the show over 90 minutes.
Yes. So, if you missed JJ's return to action from the storm, keeping him off air, check out his review of SmackDown, Rampage, and Collision from this morning over the Casa D-18 Studios on demand, as well as his special show earlier today at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, from the Mind of the Renegade, talking about the continuing ongoing drama involving these four, unfortunately four for Simone anyway, entities within WWE. Tomorrow, we will have the Greg Cherry Show on the Greg Cherry brand and the Jeff Meacham Network at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific. Your donations for the Greg Cherry Show tomorrow will give you a chance to give Greg a shaving cream pie in the puss. So there you go. Please check that out. We will also be streaming AEW Dynamite Watch Along as Sting and Darby Allin compete for what could very well be Sting's final title opportunity in professional wrestling, as he is retiring on March 3rd. They will challenge Rick Starks and Big Bill. I keep saying Rick Starks. Did it all fucking week. Ricky Starks and Big Bill for the AEW Tag Team Championship. We'll also see a number one contenders match between Swerve Strickland and Adam Page. Chris Jericho against Takeshita. CMML stars will face Bethel Combat Club. And based on the way the ticker's going there, Tony Khan will make a bowel movement. Now, Thursday, our buddy Walter Cruz will be giving his thoughts during this WrestleMania kickoff special at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern at Las Vegas. Immediately following that, I will be live with Beaches Musings. So check that out across the entirety of my social media platforms and the like, as well as the Casa D-18 Studios Greg Cherry YouTube brand, Greg Cherry brand YouTubes. Friday, myself, JJ, and Pop Jerry Williams will be counting down our top 10 Beatles songs in celebration of the 60th anniversary of the Beatles' first appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show. Very, very cool for us to be doing that. Open mic night, of course, will be back Saturday night, as we do, 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 Pacific. Again, Mikey mentioned earlier, our coverage. First time we're going to be actually conducting a full produced watch along of something besides wrestling. We kind of did the Dodgers thing in 2020 when they won the World Series. This is a full-blown presentation. Super Bowl 58, San Francisco and Kansas City out in Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. We'll be live on the air at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. As far as my shows go, the legendary Quiet Riot founders back together for the first time in 20 years. They will be at Yamaba Casino at Rock and Brews, opened by Paradise Kitty, our good friends. And this is kind of a Genesis plug because Jenna, my friendship with Jenna going back longer than I'm allowed to say on the air because she will kill me, begat my friendship with Ariel Belvalere, who is now part of LA Dolls, LADOLZ.com. They'll be at the Topanga Mall for the Topanga Social during the Super Bowl coverage, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pacific on Sunday night. You can also check out my new buddies, the Pinktastic Plastics, at the world famous or infamous Whiskey A Go Go, along with the Motels. They will be on stage at 8 p.m. Friday night, the 16th. They also have their new video debuting on Wednesday afternoon, so be looking for that. My other buddy, Nikki Stevens, who I've known forever, and her, the band she's part of now, Jesse Fury and the Sound. Jesse Fury, of course, I've known since we were both children because he is the son of the greatest left winger in NHL history. I will be out there live at the world famous Mint on Pico Boulevard. Wednesday night, February 21st, doors at 6, show is at 7.
All righty. For this week, the bar is closed. Thank you all for showing up. Again, I cannot say thank you enough for allowing us to do the watch along on Sunday. I am very excited about this. I cannot wait. You never know what's going to happen. You never know but hard work pays off, folks. It's like Scott Hall said, hard work pays off and bad guys do, but I'm a good guy. So, hey, go for that. I can't wait to see you all on Sunday. I love you all. I'll see you next week, and I'll definitely see you Sunday. How do you like me now? Stat Boy out.